really have to say how grateful I am to having found a place last night. It is a holiday weekend this weekend, and it's a Saturday night, so almost everything was booked up last night. I made a couple phone calls, and every hotel I got to said that they were full. So I decided to drive through town a little bit and see what I could find, if I could find a no vacancy sign somewhere. And then drove past Days Inn, and they didn't have a vacancy sign or no vacancy sign. So I decided to stop in. They had a last minute cancellation last night, and I was able to get one of the last rooms, I think, in Port Angeles. So I'm really grateful for that. And I'm going to go ahead and head back up to Hurricane Ridge. It's already about 6 o'clock in the morning, and sun's already up, but it is extremely cloudy out. Same conditions really that there were yesterday. So I'm hoping for some more fog on the ridge lines in amongst the trees, and I'm just going to spend a couple hours up there looking around, seeing if I can find anything. So if you want to, come along for a ride. So I'm driving up Hurricane Ridge Road, and I stopped for a couple of seconds because I saw these clouds behind me on the hill, ridge line, and I just had to try and get a couple of images. They're handheld images with my 70 to 300 millimeter zoom lens, pretty much zoomed all the way out to try and capture those. I just love fog in the trees, and yeah, it's just, ooh, even more beautiful. I might have to go back to my camera. The other thing I'm hearing a lot of rock fall. If you see behind me here, there's the road, and this is a hillside, and it's Hurricane Ridge Road is like this all the way up. You get trees along the way, but you also get a lot of this, and it can be dangerous. It's constantly moving. There's rock falling all year long, all the time. And I was on my way up. I saw some big rocks I had to dodge. So it's just be wary if you're driving up here that there is rocks. They are falling, and they're falling all the time. And I'm gonna go get a couple more images, and I will hopefully meet you back up at the top. Well, I'm back up at Hurricane Ridge, and as on my drive up, I was noticing some parting of the clouds and some beautiful blue sky above. And once I got up here, it's not here at the moment. Could be coming, might not be coming, but that's okay. I'm going to still meander around the meadow and see what I can find. Like I said, I love the fog in the trees. And so this flower is cow parsnip. It's related to the hogsweed. A lot of people are confusing it with hogsweed. Hogsweed and cow parsnip actually are flowers that, if you are sensitive to the sun, they will leave blisters if you get the juice on you. So if you rub up against them, get some juice, some of the juice that's within the plant on you, and then get yourself exposed to the sun, you could get blisters, especially if you are sensitive to the sun. Cow parsnip is not as bad as hogsweed, but a lot of people have been saying you've got to report this is an invasive species. It's not. It is a natural flower in Washington, and it's actually a very pretty flower. I stay away from it because I am sensitive to the sun, which is why I live in the Northwest. And but I just wanted to point that out. It's just beautiful, and it's just, you know, kind of along the edges here. It goes down along the visitor center, which you can just see right there in the fog. But I'm going to go ahead and meander through the meadows and see what I can find. Again, I have a full battery in my camera, and let's have some fun. So I found a composition up there, and I've got my shorter lens on. I'm thinking I'm going to need my zoom lens for it. There's some beautiful lupin that are creating a line leading towards those trees that I pointed out last night that were a little bit lighter than the dark trees behind them. So I saw this little line of lupins that I think might be kind of pretty. So I'm going to get my longer lens because I think that's what I'm going to need for it. And I wasn't thinking I was going to need it, so I had to go back to the car and get it. But it looks like it's starting to break up. If you can. So hopefully we'll see something a little bit brighter. The clouds are going in and off of the meadow right at the moment. So well, again, we'll have to see what's going on. So anyone who's coming up here wondering, you know, what there is to do other than just look at all the beauty. Come on, beautiful. Even with the fog, it's gorgeous. But there's several short trails. These are perfect. I remember running on these trails when I was a little kid. My family would spend pretty much every other summer out here on the Olympic Peninsula, camping down at heart of the hills so we could spend time at Hurricane Ridge. We'd go out to the Hoh Rainforest. We'd go out to the beaches. But I always loved Hurricane Ridge, mainly because of the meadows and the flowers, and I got to spend some quality time with my mom looking at flowers. She loved flowers, which is probably why I do too. But so you've got a lot of little trails, and these are perfect for kids. They're all paved. The ones in the heavy, these are all paved, so that they're even ADA accessible for people in wheelchairs and mobility issues. And look, the clouds have kind of lifted for a little bit. Isn't this great? So I'm gonna go up here and switch out my lens real quick. There's my camera up there. Yay! There's my camera up on the ridge. And we're gonna see if I can get this image that I'm looking at, and then keep meandering around the meadow. All right. So the image I'm looking at is, I think you might be able to see. Let me see if I can zoom in on them. The beautiful line of lupin right here, and I've got them framed from edge to edge in my camera, and then you have this wonderful little line of trees set off from the darker trees. They're young trees. That's all new growth that's making no light. It's not the light hitting it, because right now there's really no light up here other than the ambient light of the fog. So I'm going to go ahead and photograph this. Right now I'm using ISO 100. I'm set at f8. Actually, I want to be set at f8, and it's about a 50th of a second. I'm going to have a 2-second timer. I'm going to zoom back out. There we go. Here we go. 2-second timer for any shaking, especially with the long lens on. And histogram looks a little dark, but it is a darker scene. I mean, if you look, a lot of what I'm capturing is those dark trees. So it's going to be a darker scene. So the histogram is going to be towards the left a little bit more, which is okay. And I think I might like this. This might be something nice. Look at this sweet little bunch of lupins. I think you might be able to see at where all the leaves meet. There's a little dewdrop, and you see how the dewdrops are hanging on to the little hairs of the leaves. That's one of the ways. Look at how gorgeous that is on the flower. Can I zoom in a little bit? You can see that. Just gorgeous. I'm gonna actually lower my camera to the ground, I think, and see if I can get a good image of this one. This one's a pretty one. Glad that I brought the long lens because that's all I've been using so far this morning. But I wanted to show you what's going on but over across the parking lot. We've got some breaks in the clouds. So hopefully we might see some more sun streaming through. We might not. I don't have a lot of time up here because I need to get back down. I need to get over to the Owa River about 9 o'clock because I need to go out and meet my sister. I was going to carry her pack out for her. So let's keep moving. So while I was standing on the viewpoint, I heard something behind me, almost like crickets, but so I wanted to, I just kept going, just a little sort of a sound, and I decided, I looked around and started heading towards where I see sound to investigate, because that's just me, and look what's on the bench. We've got a little chipmunk who is nibbling on something probably somebody had dropped as their, oh, there's another one on the ground. But yeah, they're looking for things that people had dropped. It's, you know, sometimes you drop food and, you know, that just happens. But can I just, I hate it when I see people feeding animals. Animals are not meant to be, oh look, they're making friends. Oh, what you got, Mom? One does look like a little baby, doesn't it? It's a little bit smaller. But, you know, again, let's not feed the animals. It just doesn't do them any good. They do not get, you know, Cheez-Its and goldfish. They're over here now in the wild. So when they can't rely on people food, they have to rely on natural food, and sometimes they don't. It's not the calories they need, and sometimes it just would rather have people food because people food tastes better, but it's crappy. There it goes. Yeah, people food just does not work. Oh my gosh, you can take a look at the crows over here. I don't know if you can see them, probably not in the video. They're in that, you know, they're right there. They're in that tree right there. And they're actually ravens, larger beaks. And they've been quite vocal all morning. But again, you know, let's not feed the birds, let's not feed the animals. Let's keep animals wild. They're made to be wild. They're made to live off the land, and everything they need most is up here, and they don't need anything from us to survive. So I'm really loving these clouds here. So I'm going to see if I can get some images with these clouds. So the composition I found is there's a fire years ago, oh gosh, about 15 or more years ago, and you can still see the evidence on the ridges behind me. And so what I've gotten right now is the clouds are kind of swirling around those dead trees. Now the clouds aren't moving fast enough to be able to get a slow shutter speed, but I'm still going to get an image with the clouds around those. And the clouds moved in, and I think I just lost my composition. I'll have to wait here a little bit longer for it. But I think it's going to be a really interesting image with the dead old burned trees and the clouds. As you're walking along Hurricane Ridge, you might see some strange looking trees off in the distance with some wheels on it. Well, they're not trees. In the wintertime, Hurricane Ridge is a really popular place to come for skiing, and that's the rope tow. Get people up and down the hill. I mean, you can see this is a really kind of a fun hill to ski down. So
they've got a couple of different runs. It's not like Vail or Aspen, but you know, the locals come here and they have a lot of fun. People even from Seattle come over to go skiing over in Hurricane Ridge. A lot of snowshoeing trails, a lot of cross-country skiing. So the road they try to keep open all year round. During the winter they do close it during the weekdays generally and at nighttime. But yeah, it's a place where you can enjoy all year round. And it's totally worth coming out here all year round. The fog's really starting to roll in, so I'm not too sure you can see him, but right about there is a buck, still with velvet on his antlers, just sitting in the fog. It's just so pretty. And then over down beside him, over here, which I'm not too sure you can see him. I can't even see him in the video. Is a little marmot, just kind of staring at the deer. And the deer's just staring this way. Not too sure what he is looking for. Hope it's not a bear. Don't want to run into a bear today. Okay, maybe you can see the little marmot a little bit better now. The fog's kind of lifted. There's the deer up there, and the little marmot's down over here. Right in that area right there. And so Olympic National Park has its own endemic marmot species. They're the Olympic marmot. I usually call them the fat-ass marmots because they live high on the hog in the Olympics. And there are times they just get so huge and so fat. And I was watching one walk, and with every step, all the little fat all across his body just jiggled with every step. He was adorable. But yeah, they get pretty big out here in the Olympics, and they are their own species. And the deer actually kind of live pretty well too. They are pretty accustomed to people, and people generally don't bother them unless they're feeding them garbage, like white bread and stuff. And please don't do that. So happy little deer. I did get a couple images of them, so hopefully those turn out. And I'm gonna need to head back to the car because I gotta go pick up my sister. She says she's going to be leaving her camp at about 9, and she's only about 2 miles out, so I was going to go out and at least meet her on the trail, grab her pack, and carry it out for her. So I will be seeing you soon. So I walked down the trail just a little bit further from where I saw the other buck, and there's 2 more. If you can see them up on the hill there. The other one's just over here. They're all just kind of laying down, just enjoying the morning, a nice quiet morning before they get up and start doing their tourist duties. Wow, this is just great. They're so sweet and beautiful. Oh, I just want to hug them, but no bothering the wildlife, and hugging the wildlife is not a good thing. So, but they're absolutely adorable. Just sitting there watching me take that picture. It's just great. So I decided before heading back to the car I was going to take one last look around the meadow. I just can't let a good meadow with lupin blooming in it go. So found a couple of images, a couple of compositions I set up and photographed, and hopefully they turn out. I am realizing one thing while I'm out here is I'm right now using my tripod I use for backpacking, which is really lightweight. Well, it does okay when I'm backpacking, but really I'm not very happy with it while I'm out doing things like that. I need to pull out my bigger tripod and actually use my bigger tripod, which is sturdier, and just use the smaller tripod when I'm doing like vlogging and going out on trips like this. Oh gosh, just look how beautiful. Oh, I love this place. It's just so gorgeous. Anyways, I'll use the smaller tripod I use for backpacking
for the video camera, which I didn't set up this time. I set it up for the first vlog, and right now I'm just using my iPhone. I'm just trying to test things out, see how things go. I do need to get an actual microphone and receiver. That'll be coming within the next couple of weeks. So hopefully after the Hurricane Ridge, I'm going to do 2 videos here, one from last night and one from this morning. And so hopefully after these, I'll have an actual microphone, a good microphone, and a receiver. And yeah, I don't know what else I'm going to need. But I'll keep figuring it out. If anybody has any plant ideas or thoughts of what I need, please let me know, because I think this is going to be fun, and I hope you're willing to come along for the ride. So if you are willing to come along for the ride, I think you know the routine. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, that sort of stuff, and hopefully I'll see you on another adventure.